Hey guys, thanks for tuning back into the channel. If you're new to xTool or laser engraving in general, this video can save you a lot of frustration, wasted materials, and money. These are some of the biggest mistakes that beginners make when starting out and how you can avoid them. I'm just going to talk about a couple different things that I know that a lot of people have mistakes with when they first start laser engraving, and these are mistakes that I had personally. I've had quite a few comments in the comment section talking about what are different ways that people can improve on their engraving as a beginner, and this video is just kind of a start out for that. It's going to be mostly tailored to xTool Studio and anyone that has an xTool engraver, but if you just have another engraver or use Lightburn or some other type of processing system, there will be some other helpful tips in here for you as well. Okay, so first off, one of the things I think that a lot of engravers do, and me personally, I don't think things through before I start a job or before I hit this process button. So you can have whatever type of job you want. So let's say that you just insert any type of shape real quick. So here I've got this animal inserted. Okay, so now before I engrave this on my piece of material, there's a lot of variables I have to think about. Okay, what's the size of the piece of material? The width and the height. Do I want it vertical, horizontal? Do I want to change the angle of it? Do I want to reflect the image? There's a lot of different things here that you can look at here on this top bar. The majority of the time you're just going to look at the size because you might already have the image placed how you like it. But then after you look at the size, you'll have to look at the power percentage and the speed needed for your piece of material. So this is different on all pieces of material. If you're going to engrave on wood, it's not going to take near the amount of speed and power that's needed to engrave on stone. So a low speed and a high power equals a dark engraving. A low power and a high speed equals a light engraving. Do you want to score this image, engrave it, or cut it? There's a lot of different options that you can use, and this material test guide can help out with that a lot. Just find the type of material that you're using, click on it, and it should give you some ideas on what speed and power to use. Okay, so now you've got your engraving, the speed and power, the size, everything you need there. So now you can go to the process page. So there's a lot more variables to this process page. One thing I'm really bad about doing is forgetting about this origin point. So where do I want my image to start engraving? So if you've got a piece of material out there that's a circle, you don't really want your engraving to start at the top left corner of the circle because there's not a top left corner. You might want it to start at the very middle of the circle and measure that out. So then once your engraving's done, it'll be nice and centered. You can do this preview path, which is really nice, but something that's very, very important to do anytime before you start your engraving is to frame your engraving. And I like to lower the speed just as low as possible so I can see it through start to finish. And if you do all those things, you should be okay. So just ask yourself before you start the job, is my material aligned right? Size right? Is the correct origin point selected? Do I have the right speed and power? Are all the accessories properly installed? So if you've got a rotary tool or something, is it right side up? Is it correct there? There's just so many different things to check on, and it really doesn't hurt to make a checklist before you start these engravings because you never know what you'll forget. The extra minute of checking can save you a lot of headaches. Another thing that I'd recommend for a new engraver is to not expect perfect results immediately. A lot of beginners expect their first projects to look like professionals right away, and that's just not realistic. Laser engraving and cutting is a skill. Materials vary, settings change, and mistakes are part of the learning process. And I keep a drawer of all the wood that I've used in the past that I've made mistakes on, so then I can either look at it, see what I made the mistake on, and use it again in the future to help me out, or maybe if I need scrap pieces of material just to practice on, I can use it. If your first projects have burn marks, uneven cuts, or even light engraving, that doesn't mean you're bad at engraving or that you should quit. It just means that you're learning. I would recommend starting on something easy. I've got a little image here of something that's tough. If you try to start off with something like this, you'll probably mess up because you notice how many different moving parts that there are, and how some of the laser engraving goes off the cuts here, it's going to be tough. And this thicker piece of material like this, it's going to be a little bit harder to cut to unless you have a higher powered engraver. So something like this I wouldn't recommend to start off on. But here's a good example of something that may be easy to start with. This is just a little set of house keys with a house on a small piece of wooden material. It probably didn't take 5 minutes to cut out, and it's something that's actually pretty useful for an individual and that could be sold or given away. So just something easy to start out with like that. One of my first engravings was a picture of my uncle and his son for my uncle's birthday. But honestly, it took me hours and hours and hours and attempt after attempt to get it right. And it really frustrated me more than it helped me. I stayed up till 2 o'clock that night, trying my best to get that engraving perfect. And while it did turn out pretty good, I honestly got lucky and just was able to find the exact speed, power, and material setting that I needed for that type of material. So that doesn't always happen. So just be careful when you're first starting out. Don't get discouraged and continue your process, and it'll eventually turn out great and you'll know what you're doing every time. Another recommendation of mine is to not go and rush and buy every accessory. As you can see here, xTool has a lot of different accessories that will work with your laser engraver. One thing that I do have is this RA2 for a rotary attachment. It works pretty good, and I've used it quite a bit for tumblers and mugs and different things like that. And that might be one I recommend, but there's so many different things like this honeycomb. While it does help you out, a piece of solid board under your piece of material does a great job. There's also so many different things, new module heads, new lasers. There's just so many things that you can try to buy for your engraver to make it better. Some of it's honestly not needed. Right now, all I have is a rotary tool and an air assist. I'm not saying that other things aren't good and won't help you out with your engraving, but when you're first starting out, it's really unneeded. It's very tempting to buy everything, that air assist, that rotary tool, and enclosure, extension, all of it, but the truth is you don't need all that on day one. Buying too much too fast can overwhelm you and drain your budget. It's better to start with just the basics, learn what kind of projects you actually enjoy, and then upgrade as needed. Let your project decide your accessories, not the other way around. The fourth thing that I'll recommend is some people expect xTool Studios or Lightburn or whatever creative process that you have to be similar to Illustrator or Canva. I just don't think that it is. Many beginners expect that xTool Studios to work like a professional design software, but it's just not going to happen. xTool is mainly for setting up or sending jobs to your machine. While it has some basic design features and a lot of really good shapes that they've came a long way with. When I first got xTool Creative Space 2 years ago, and this was before it turned into xTool Studio, there was not as near as many features to use as an engraver. But for me, to get a smoother workflow is designing it in Canva and then importing it into xTool Studio using this import button here. A lot of times I bring it in as just a PNG file, remove the background from it, and then start engraving. Once you understand that, it'll feel a whole lot less frustrating, because trying to create shapes or lines or anything like that through xTool Studios can sometimes be pretty frustrating. They also like to do a lot of this new AI stuff, like AI Make, and while it's cool, it does end up costing money if you use your xTool credits. So just an FYI there, it may be good to use a separate AI system to create your AI and then just import it over. Lastly, and it's something that I've already hinted on a little bit, but one of the biggest common mistakes for new beginners is skipping calibration, skipping test runs, and not framing before you start your projects. Beginners often trust on default settings and go straight to the final piece, and that's where the biggest mistakes happen. One recommendation I have is that if you're starting to do something expensive like a Yeti or a Hydro Flask tumbler, go get a cheap one first from a Dollar Tree or Walmart and test on that. It will have similar settings as one of the Yeti tumblers. So start off with something cheap and then maybe even buy a name brand tumbler to practice on. if you're planning to do a lot in the future. The more you practice, the better it'll get. Like they say, practice makes perfect, but in laser engraving there's so many variables, it's hard to get perfect. But framing always helps you see exactly where your lasers will run. You can frame using this button here on the bottom. And test cuts will help you dial in the speed and power for your specific material. You need to use a lot of scrap material, so buying cheap stuff off of Amazon is great, and I'll have a link in my description below on some different test materials that you guys can use, and it can help you from ruining your final project. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, hopefully you've learned a little bit about some of the mistakes as a new engraver. And I know myself, I've been doing this a couple years now, but I remember when I first started. But if you're just starting off, remember, slow down, test often, and focus on learning, not perfection. The first 6 months is tough, but it'll get there. Everyone who's good at laser engraving started exactly where you are now. If this helped you, feel free to like, subscribe, or share it with a beginner who's just getting started. If you have any comments, just leave them down in the comments section below, and I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks, and happy engraving.